Hello guys, hope you're all doing alright. Right, so, housekeeping. Done a little bit of work off stream, and by a little bit I mean a fair amount, but it's all been like quite small tech fixes and stuff. So, yeah, it's been, well, like 6 days since the last stream, 5 days, something like that. I would have streamed earlier, just had a weird, like, kind of imposter syndrome week, so I was just like really not willing to stream for a little while. But I was continuing to work on the project in between playing Bioshock, which is currently free on Epic Games Store. Go get it. But yeah, done a little bit of work. So primarily focused around the eyes. Now the caruncula. I tried to mimic something that I've noticed in more refs recently, which is the caruncula actually blends in. Like it's amazingly transparent. I tried to do this with refraction originally, so I tried to do kind of a very thin glass shader, but it wasn't giving me the same effect. So currently the caruncle geometry has a transparency ramp to help get this blend. Also to help the blend, I've remodeled it, so it comes up a lot further now. I don't know if it'll show up in the normals because we've got, yeah, there it is. So it comes up a lot further now on the geometry. But then transparency is pulling that all the way back. The caruncle now has displacement as well. So it's got its own 4K displacement map from ZBrush. Next thing, so although you can't see it at this resolution, I have redone the iris groom for the fibers. So it's a little bit more clumped up now, so it looks a little bit close to some of the references that we have. Obviously, the main reference for the eye itself being these ones, with this being the highest res. So yeah, I've made it a little bit more clumpy at the base, and I've also thickened up the fog a little bit, which will help get a better sense of structure. I've also made this wrinkle, or this crease, sorry, a little bit tighter, and tightened up this little corner here. I've kind of inflated it above that line to help it have a little bit more weight to it. Other than that, on the sculpt, although you can't see it in this render, the corner of the mouth is fixed, because for a while the corner of the mouth had this like weird plane between the end of the lip and like the kind of bulge that the corner has. Although you can't see it in any of these either. Basically this crease here had like a weird plane in the way. But yeah, other than that, did some eyelash grooming, but again, you can't really see it in this render. This is far too low res. It's only 1K. But yeah, anyway. In terms, I've also worked on the percentage map for the facial hair a bit. But yeah, beyond all that stuff, everything's the same as where I left off. So yeah, I'm going to be working on the head hair groom today. I kind of want to make a little bit more progress on that. Depending on how it goes, because this is Yeti, I may do some iris sculpting, just because we are still using the iris, although a modified version of, we are still using the iris from the Pero. So I kind of want to get rid of that and sculpt a new iris. Obviously that's just for the stroma, so it will have very little effect. I just don't like reusing too much stuff, because I feel like I've not learned from doing that. Now, I'm okay with modifying stuff, but I still want to sculpt a new shape to learn a bit more about eye sculpting. But yeah, so in terms of what we're going to do with the hair, so obviously this is our primary reference, but something that is obviously a hurdle with this is that it's a painting, so we don't get much information. There is some skin showing here, and we can kind of see a line there, but the way this is reading right now, I mean, part of this is because my Groom is really bad. It's a kind of block out at best. It's still not really working. So I'm going to start to pull it more towards this, which is fortunate because this is the only instance I can find where there's multiple images of John Singer Sargent from that moment. So all of this is the same. His hair is identical between these two, so I can actually get quite a lot of information from this. So that's the plan. I'm also going to have to get that wrinkle in at some point. I might paint it in, I'm not sure. It's not visible in this, but I feel like I kind of need to get it in there. But yeah, so I'm just going to get on with grooming this. Obviously we are going to keep it mirrored, like we're not going to match that. In fact, we probably can just quickly... Can you flip an image? Let's see. No, I guess not. There must be a way to flip it, but let's not worry about that. But yeah, so I'm just going to try my best to match these a little bit better. Length-wise, we might keep it longer because this is like a kind of bad haircut thing going on the side here. And this is, at least to my eyes, a little bit longer. Although it should be less dense at the bottom. Mine's way too dense. But yeah, so we'll work on that and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's where it currently is. Let's get that. I'll save my scene. I'm also just going to quickly turn off the skin. Oh yeah, I've also updated the layout a little bit, just so it's a tiny bit cleaner than it was before. So we've now got different kind of backdrops for if we're doing face renders, eye renders, and the small studio lighting, which is this one, which I've decided is going to be like my main dev lighting. And we've also got one for the HDRI collection that we had, and one for the kind of light rig that matches the ref. And I think that's it. I've moved the render cam settings back here as well, just kind of get those out of the way. But yeah, so let's start getting on with that then. So let's bring this over here. I'm going to go into the Groom. I'm going to hide the head hair. Okay. I'm going to hide you. Hide these guys too. Focus on this ref for now. There we go. Cool. So let's just get started, I guess. I guess we will also have to turn off all the modifiers because this is a lot kind of greasier, like more slick than what mine is. But we'll get to that as and when we do. Let's go edit Groom. So we're going to have to work asymmetrically at this stage as well, because it is an asymmetrical hairstyle. So the first thing I'm noticing is that this entire section here is way, way flatter than what I have. So we'll do something like that. Okay, we're gonna have to rebuild that. We sample. There we go. They were both of the guides were responding differently to the same brush strokes, which normally means they've got different CV counts. Okay. Pull this guy a bit flatter. Goes next. Okay, so this kind of shape that I have here never happened. I don't know why I've got that in there. It's definitely a lot more kind of leaning over, like that. Pull it forward a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna have to get all of these guides here. I have to show the hair to see what's going on with this. So it's a Yeti graph editor. Okay, and let's just turn off everything up to the width. Okay, so we're going to need, I probably need a little bit of guide clumping to really get this shape right. But let's just, how real time is this? I don't know. Yeah, it's way too slow. Okay, so we'll have to just keep hiding the head hair and showing it again. Okay, we're gonna have to get rid of a few of these guides while we figure out where everything should be. What might be worth doing, actually, is previewing the hair, but at like an earlier stage. Or we can just quickly remove guides that are outside the region now. Okay, so that clearly having an effect. Let's add some guides, and we're gonna keep this to that. Add a guide there. Add a guide. Let's go for guide there. Resample all those and hide the head hair. Okay. Back on screen. So from the side view, it's still kind of sweeping backwards, but not really. Let's do it anyway to keep it happy. Something like that. The hair doesn't reach that point. So we can get rid of that. Clearly gonna need to fix this. Let's hide the head hair. So this guide here will be the one that needs to fall over. One thing I'll need to look into is like how pomade, like get some high-res images of like what pomade looks like on people's hair, which is like kind of the old hair product they used to use. Basically, just hair wax. Well, that's unfortunate. What happened there? Or is that just what my guides look like? Maybe I just didn't have many guides back there. That feels off though. That feels like I'm missing a lot. Okay, so let's get these guys. So how can we resolve that? That works. Is this area here needs to change a lot. Like a lot. So let's start getting that in place. Is this hair longer than the others? Let's go attribute paint, length. No, they're the same. Just feels longer. Let's decrease it by 0.5. This needs to come from higher up, doesn't it? Let's just get a few of these resolved first. Resample that. Still flowing backwards. Something I'm not too happy with is the fact that everything's kind of flowing the same direction slightly. If anything actually starts to flow forwards at that point. Yeah, I think at this point it's actually flowing forward. So we'll get that. Bring it like that. Get this guy. He needs to be doing most of the same. Resample that. Something like that. Just gonna go down here. Okay, so this guy. Okay, there we go. Left needs to go up. I feel like we should probably pick the length of this guy. Paint that onto him. Probably sculpt this guy while we're at it. So that's curling forward, I think. It's got like a bit of that going on. That guy. Grab that guy too, because that's still flowing forward over there. In fact, yeah, this guy needs to flow forward too. Excuse me. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, go ahead there. Let's bump him up. Okay, there we go. Show the head hair. We need more kind of flowing forward over here. I feel like we need some kind of width blend as well. Just mute Facebook. Okay. We're gonna have to figure out what the hell's going on over there. My guess is it's just getting confused. Do we have any images that would be that side? His hair curls up there, it's so weird. It looks like his hair kind of flicks out a lot. Okay, yeah, we can try to do that. Okay, edit Groom. So let's just grab these guys and resample them. Look at that, works. Makes it easier to blend. We're definitely gonna need a lot more work in that area though. Let's also try to even out the length a little bit, because if we sample the length of this guy, it should be the same as here, and it's visibly not. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. A bit more reasonable. Okay, let's get this guy, let's curl him up, going backwards. There we go. I feel like we're going to need to flatten this area down a bit. And you start with him. Okay. Next guides are these two. Standing up a little bit too much. I need to get some more guides in there that kind of curl in a bit, I think. So this stuff still needs to be lying flatter. Let's get this guide. Curl him in a bit. Okay. Guess I need to update the guide placement as well, actually. Just going to add it to the new corners, which are like here and here. I'll move this up. Okay, we need to get some guides in here to kind of break all this shit up a little bit. Gonna get rid of that guy. Add him back in manually. There we go. Okay, let's get another guide in here. Make sure he's not insecting too bad, which he isn't. Curl him back that way. Create a little bit of chaos. Okay, let's go to the outliner. Show the head hair. I'm wondering if I should actually bring this down rather than sticking 100% to this. But I can't think of another way to get that. Unless I have most of it go down with a little bit of flicking out. But that's what I was doing before, right? Let's see how this renders. Although there's a bit of a bump back here. So I'll quickly resolve that. I'm guessing it's around here. Yeah, it's gonna be here, because this guide is kind of doing a bit weird stuff. Edit Groom. So I'll grab this guy. I have to add some more guides to simplify that. Okay. Let's get some guides in there. Yes, that's just pointing straight up, so that's the problem. Okay. Guide in there. He's mostly okay. A little bit pointy. Guide in there. Guide in there. So let's get that shown. We need to get some, obviously some clump size variation in there, but for now we'll export that as is. So export Groom from selected Yeti node. I'm not going to worry about the noises or anything. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so let's turn off the face cam. And we're just going to render region that bit. We may have to make the Groom a little bit shinier, or like add some kind of greasy top coat. So that bit needs to be flatter. That bit needs to be bumped up more. It's amazing how just the tiniest bump can give it this impression. Yeah, there it is there. Makes it feel square. Okay, let's go into there. Yeah, this just feels like a wall of hair. Oh yeah, we also need to okay, yeah, we'll fix this. See what's going on here. I have a feeling we're just gonna have to kind of curl a bit more quickly, actually. Yeah, it's taking too long to start curling, which I guess means that our curl is too far back. It's actually the hair here. Oh yeah, shit. It's the hair here that's curling. Back here, so all this stuff just continues going backwards. Okay, that makes me understand why this stuff is breaking then. Okay, let's get that fixed. Okay, so we're just gonna go in and fix up that stuff. So let's get these two. And start pulling those backwards. Like that. And this stuff here, we're going to need to pull in more tightly. That could work. Okay, so let's get into head hair here. That works. So let's go to our graph editor. Let's do a tiny bit of work in here. So we need to view it from up here. We know that much. We're gonna need a lot less strays. So for now, we'll just turn off the frizz. Turn off strays. Turn off strays large. Although we might have to put frizz back on. These I'm okay with because they're just ends. They're sticking out. Okay, let's lower the percentage of that. We're gonna need some guide work in here. Yeah, there he is. Get these guys. Resample both of these two. Get a little bit more curl in there. Okay. Let's go into the Yeti graph editor. Export Groom from a selected Yeti node. I'm just going to go into, let's think. Do I need to lower the width of this Groom as well? Or is that just my clumps like being really strong? It looks to me like this hair is actually curling forward a little bit to do that. So I'm going to need to bring that forward. This area here is giving me a lot of trouble. Okay, let's do what we can in this bit. Yeah, so these all need to be pulled forward. Undo those two actually for now. Let's just pull all this stuff way forward. Resample that. these two. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna alt save as well in a minute. Okay. Maybe we should mimic that at the back, increase the length a little bit, get this going. So I do quite like that kind of counter curl that's going on. Do we have any images where that's happening? Just this one, right? But then that's on the side of this curl. It's kind of happening there, but it's quite low. Maybe that's what my problem is actually. Maybe the curl's happening too high. Where is it on this? It could be that actually. Could be that this curl is too high. Let's just pull that down a little bit. Resample all that. And that just allows a bit more space for all this craziness. Okay. Let's go in. Hide, oh, unhide this, sorry. Okay, I feel like this area back here needs to be flattened down for this bit to read correctly. Like there. So let's get that. Not having spec is the most annoying shit. I know there's a shader node, but it just refuses to work. Although if anyone watching this knows Yeti, and you know what's causing the lack of spec, feel free to let me know. This is very annoying. Resample all these, kill those. That'll do. Just grab this guy, give him a tiny bump so he's not intersecting. Okay. Kind of want to do something a bit more exotic with these two. Like, can I do a curl that is just completely, like, spiraling in on itself? Because that could look quite good. Stuff like that. That could work quite well. Might cause some havoc up here, but we'll find out. Okay, so let's create the Groom. So it's getting interpolated completely out, but it is interesting. So we might have a quick explore with that. If we had a guide here, let's say, and try it's a bit harder to curl around. Maybe make this guy curl a bit as well. Okay. Okay, there you go there. Let's just see what you do. If I was to follow that through, it's going to have to do some bullshit like that, which is a bit too much at that point. So we'll force out that shape by like having it go over it. Just resample that. I'll have it curl over these. Or bend even over these. We need some guides back here to follow. So we got a zone of guides that are kind of doing this, rather than just some individual fun ones like that. Some guide clumping will help a lot here, but I hate guide clumping with a passion. Let's get a guide right there. Okay. Something like that. Okay. It's feeling a bit more interesting. It's not good by any stretch, but it's working. So let's get that into Katana. Head here. Next project I'm going to learn how to do X-Gen in Katana. From what I understand, it's not difficult, it's just a lot of steps. Like, more than Yeti is. And I also have to work entirely within Pt.20, which Mari can do. I've just never tried it, I don't know how well it works. Okay, we got a bit of that square thing going on again. So this bit back here, is there a way for me to get rid of that? Or is it just one of those things I'm going to have to live with? I feel like I need to bump that out again to get that old silhouette back. I'm gonna add the other noises in as well. Let the noises run free. Okay, so we need a guide back here to kind of bump things out a bit. Okay. Okay, let's just bump that out. And we'll add guides to help reinforce it. I feel like we're going to want a little bit of some interesting forms down here. So maybe if we have this guide go like that, we can have some guides kind of come up over that a little bit. Just kind of bump out like that. And that'll just create a little bit of a notch. Just kind of do something like that. Pull that forward. Kind of having sections of hair pass over other sections of hair. Okay. Okay, let's go into the outliner. Get the head hair visible again. Okay. Yeti, export Groom from selected Yeti node. Head hair. I need to add some baby hairs as well. The previous one had more shape. Okay, let's view this. Baby hairs. Yeah, so baby hairs are kind of hairs you get at your hairline that are normally shorter and a bit more, a bit thinner than the rest of your hair. Usually, anyway. Why does this line up so badly? Or why does this not line up, I should say? That is strange. What's the focal length changed? It should be 85, right? Something's off. How long's this camera been misaligned for? To bump that up a little bit. Then we'll go in to do some maps. In fact, let's get Mari opening. Okay. Cool. Just trying to think. I have the hair proxy mesh somewhere. Oh, it looks like that parent's got lost. File, reference editor. Where is it? Came in hidden. It's not far off the correct size. A bit of weirdness happening back here, obviously, but let's assign the cornea material. Okay, maybe not a cornea material. Assign new material. Let's throw a blin on there. I need to bump that up to vaguely the same. Yeah, we'll keep this front bit like that, but we'll try to match the rest of it. Okay, so let's get that hidden. So let's go, actually let's edit Groom. So it's going to be the best way to do this. I'm thinking, if I do that, we don't got anything important at the front, and I can just quickly sculpt that out, like that. That allows me to match it pretty quickly. And you got this section here, which I'm not too worried about these guys. I think they need to kind of bulk this out. Sample that. Okay. So I think we need to reduce the length on the sides a little bit. Just wondering what the best way to do that is. And it could just be a density thing as well. First off, let's try rendering this. That guide needs a bit of work. Okay. Gonna alt save my scene. Okay. Let's get that outliner. Show this guy. Okay. Yeti export Groom selected Yeti node. Head here. Now something I'm wondering is, should I take that? Should I do the baby hair as its own groom? I feel like I should, because there's some very quick ways for me to do it. Let's bump that out. That bit needs lifting up. Yeah, I feel like if I pull that forward, push that bit out, that bit there, might help. Also need to pull that in a tiny bit. Oh, Mario crashed. Yeah, that's the bit there. Alright. Let's bump that out. Okay, so we'll go into here, grab these guys, go like this, yoink. Something I really want to try out at some point, it's a really old tool at this stage, is an old Groom tool called Groom Boy. And one of the features it had, damn, this looks like my haircut back in 2007. And this is 1907, so, you know, history repeats and all that jazz. But yeah, like the... Oh, need to bump him out a bit. Although... we could... So I'm just trying to think of ways to make this more interesting. Let's do that. That allows me to kind of tuck this in. Get a guide down here, which will also kind of follow that. That just allows me to kind of simplify that shape while still holding that angle. Okay, but yeah, so a tool called Groom Boy from years ago now had something really nice where you would draw curves on the base mesh, and then it would you select those curves, select a surface mesh, so a mesh with no thickness, it just kind of has the top layer, and it would snap the tips of that to the mesh that you've sculpted while trying its best to preserve the actual shape. I think it was literally just a linear interpolation, and it kind of like blended as it went down the length of the hair, but the results were quite nice. It made like this sort of stuff really easy where you just draw the general flow. Are you saying I'm John Singer Sargent reincarnation? Yes, of course. You are a master painter, my dude. Paint all the edgy memes that you can, and you'll become famous. Okay, let's get... something like that. Okay. Save that. I think the final guide count for this to work is going to be, like, preposterous, honestly. Okay, so we want this guy to kind of come out a little bit. I'm a master something, but I ain't painting. Oh god, I don't want to say it on the stream. Okay, that works. And this guy, let's keep him happy by doing stuff like that. Okay, that might work. I feel like this guide is going to cause us a few issues. So I'm going to do that with him. May have to do a second pass on the hair sculpt to use as reference. I'm not going to worry too much about matching this area. Oh, I guess I could just quickly go like that. Give it a little bit more volume without destroying too much. Okay. Let's get that regenerated and throw it into our scene. See, this area obviously doesn't match my sculpt, but then at the same time I don't want it to. I don't know, something feels very off. Also, my actual hair generation seems off too. Let me check something. Let's go into the Yeti Graph Editor. There it is. Do I have any uniform? I don't. Okay. I'm going to add one step of uniformity. And obviously that throws everything out. Okay. So, trick that I've learned. is, so we've got our width, which currently is set to 0.01. So I'm going to create a expression. In fact, I can go copy this from, I think it's the eyebrows, or eyelashes I'm doing this on. Okay, so we got our width. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into the head hair. Okay, go to our width, copy that. So this needs to be 0.01. And for now, let's remove F1, like that. F0 needs to be our mask. Good night, dude. I'll try my best not to groom too hard. Float 0. Width multiplier. There we go. So the hairs are still here, but now they are completely crushed. And if we go into that grow, length multiplier can help as well. Although I don't need to if the width is already set to 0. Alright, let's get this exported. Yeti, export Groom from selected Yeti node. Head hair. Cool. This should be a little bit more interesting to look at. Kind of want to pull this curl down into the front of the face a little bit. Let's see how it cleans up. Okay, so I think we now get into painting a density map. Oh, it does seem a bit thick though, doesn't it? Do I have any override on the width for this? I'm gonna reduce that to 0.65. Why crash again? Okay. Wonder if it's because I'm rendering. This looks somewhat promising. We need some guide like here to kind of pull forward. Okay, so we need this area to be a bit more interesting, because currently it's just like a flat line. At some point I need to set it up so that my background isn't in the alpha. I'm not entirely sure how you do that without removing it from the camera, because I still want it to be visible. This sort of lighting looks weird with a black background. I don't think there's an alpha contribution. If I go to here, grab this guy, material, contributions, I don't think there's one for alpha. That's cleaning up quite nicely. You're a bit more stuff going on now. Just need to pull that bit in. But this bit's feeling a lot stronger. Okay. Okay, yep. Let's make this area look a bit more interesting. At some point soon-ish, we're going to have to do some guide clumping. Or at least like a proper second layer, because currently there isn't really much of a second layer of clumps. In fact, actually, let's go on that first. So let's find out first what this is doing. I'm going to lower the clumping density. Let's check the density of clump 1s first. So 28. So I probably went for something like 7, yeah, okay. Let's take that a bit lower, let's go like 5. That makes the big clumps a little bit bigger. And this area just needs a bit more kind of going on. I might have this stuff curl up and have that tuck into it. If I draw for a moment, let's create the snipping tool. So what I'm thinking, this red pen, yep. So we got this bit coming like that, then it goes like that, and then we want it to terminate like this. That's fine. This area is where it gets dull. That is kind of what we did last time, but that is how I would break it up. So maybe we kind of go back to that. Add that back in a little bit. Still have these hairs down here, just we have more presence of that. No, we should probably cut that bit. I feel like that bit as well should. I'm gonna put that on my other screen. Use it as reference for a little while. Okay, so we got bigger clumps, which will help a little bit. So this area is just going to need a little bit more interest. Yeah, we need that to kind of. Might be quite hard to execute actually. Let's find out. Let's try. I'm also going to play with these guys, so let's do that. Okay, grab that guy, pull him down a wee bit, like that. Let's help him get closer to the face. Okay. So then guys like this one and this one, we want to do like that. So I probably could go back to my previous scene and recover a lot of this stuff. It's also likely not worth it. Let's just throw it together and see if it works well. Or works as well as I want it to, I guess. Do that with him, but still have him curl backwards. Have him tuck in. Okay, this is where a lot of this junk starts to come in. Resample that guy. Okay. I'm going to force an interesting shape out of these. I know this is the area that I wanted to overlap earlier, but not anymore. Let's just do that. Really push it against all the other shit. Okay, so grab you. Okay, let's grab the there we go. Got that eventually. Okay, so we're going to cut this guy to about there, sample his length, take it to the other side. Then this guy I'm gonna cut like that, like that, like that, like that. Let's not worry about it being even. Because honestly I don't think John Singer Sargent was either. guides in there. He's actually okay as he is. It's not good practice to just add a guide and not do anything with it, but sometimes it's fine. I've not got enough reference in that area to know what to do with it. So we'll just play. After all, like, these projects don't really have a deadline, so I'm okay with like losing some time to kind of exploration. Granted, if I was trying to do this like properly, I would definitely have some reference for this right now. Okay, that works. Okay. So let's show the groom. And then I think I'll quickly throw together a baby hair groom. Yes, let's get that. Yeti, export groom from selected Yeti node. Head hair. Okay. Save my scene. Do a quick render from here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get some baby hairs in there. I think for now I'll do it as part of the same groom, but I'll create separate guides for it. Yeah, that should work fine. Okay, so we're just going to temporarily hide this guy. Select him. Go Yeti, create groom on mesh. Then we're gonna go fur, hair, baby hairs, GRM. Oh, fur, head hair. Okay, we're gonna go into here. Edit groom. Just gonna go into that. Okay, so lengthwise, I'm gonna double that. And then we'll just play about with that as is. Let's get some guides in there. We only really need the hairline. So the fun thing with baby hairs is you really can do anything with them, and they still look okay. So you can just kind of make some fun shapes. Like this sort of shit. The thing is, a lot of it gets broken apart in the a lot of it gets broken apart in the actual like noises and shit. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Let's set a radius of influence on this guy. Let's go 0.1 for now. Go to our Yeti graph editor. We're going to have to go to this guy. Come on. Wow, this is slow. Okay, we're going to pick this guy. I'm going to create a scatter. Oh no. Well, I guess that can work too. Let's go Groom. I'm going to grab head hair, go to graph, input grooms. And we're going to go for head hair baby hairs, like that. Like that. Create a scatter. We're gonna grab the mask and plug that into our density multiplier. Oh no, our density even. Okay, I'm going to create a attribute called density. Let's do that. Add. Alright, that defaults to 1. Okay, so 0.1 might be a bit small. Let's just go. Yeah, no, 0.1 is way too small. Alright. So let's just go 1. Like that. So we don't want that many. Let's go 0.5. Okay, so we maybe do want that many. Yeah, let's increase that. But then reduce the actual density itself. Although maybe that would be okay. Let's give it a go. Create a comb. So this guy. Oh wait, I need to grow first. That is a cursed combination right there. Okay, we're going to reduce that a lot. Let's go 50. Something like that. We're going to add some spread. Add a width, which I'm going to base on this guy. Although I guess for now we can just quickly throw something in. Width. There we go. And then we will throw a scraggle in there. I'm going to parameterize this scraggle. Okay. Then we merge this in just before we get to these guys. So let's create a merge here. So doing that will just add a little bit more hairline chaos. I'm going to go in and randomize the amount of scraggle on this guy though. And then that grow is going to need a few more. Let's go... well, these are only baby hairs, so we can bump it up. There's not many of them. Okay, there we go. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so let's go to Yeti, export Groom from selected Yeti node for head hair. Okay. Save our scene. Start render. This bit here just needs to pull back in general. Head hair. Yeah, let's have all this pull back. Okay, so let's go into the tool options. Oh. Okay. There we go. Comb that. should do. Okay, so let's go into this guy. Well, that area is struggling a bit. What the hell happened to the guides there? Is that what the guides are doing? It is. Huh, weird. I thought I did a better job than that. Alright, let's fix that up. Okay, we're just going to go and grab... let's think. Probably need to add the density map as well, actually. So that it fades down correctly. I'm gonna shorten these guys a bit. There we go. So let's just get... I feel like the density needs to go down on the baby hairs, actually. Baby hairs are subtle, like just by their nature. Let's go to 25. They just provide an extra little layer of chaos. Okay. So let's get this guy. Export groom from selected node. Okay, so that's sufficiently clean. Let's just throw this on top. Temptation to like add some like strays, but like manually place strays. Okay, so let's get this killed off for a moment and pull that over a bit. So okay. Let's try opening Mari again, but this time I'm going to leave it completely. Oh, there we go. Update license. I'm going to move on to the other screen. Okay, let me. Might have to log back in off stream. try one more time. He's trying to launch a non-commercial version. So I'm just trying to relaunch it. Hey, there we go. It's weird how that happens. Sometimes like desktop shortcuts just don't actually work. It's really strange. So we need a width map for head hair. Oh, density probably needs to change a little bit too. So let's preview head hair density. Okay, so I'm going to go into that density map. This is struggling, so let's close it. Sure, we haven't changed anything. Okay, there we go. Performance is back up. So let's just go into head hair, density. We're going to paint a lower value. So let's go with like 0.5 grey. I'm going to do it with a very soft brush. Super soft, in fact. Let's set this to paint symmetrically. Alright, 0.5 is actually the baseline, so we need to go lower. Let's go 0.3. I'll break up the edge later. Let's just do that first. Okay, so let's go back in with 0.5. Okay, so now it softens out. Then we'll just go in with the organic pepper brush. Break up that hairline a little bit. 0.3. Cool. So that'll do as a first pass. Let's just get that exported. So it's fur, head hair, density. Export flattened, export current channel flattened. Okay, there we go. Just do that. And that should soften up the hairline a little bit. The next thing we need to do is start sculpting the new eye, which I'm not sure if I want to do that tonight or if I can do that tomorrow, because pretty soon I'm going to have to start on the clothing. Since obviously there's still quite a lot of texturing to do, like our skin texture is still incredibly basic, but I kind of need to get at least some hint of clothing in there, even if it's a very simple, even if it's like a very simple like collar with Lambert shading. Doesn't really matter, I just need something. Probably need to bulk up the neck a little bit as well, but that's really easy. I also need to do an update to the mask for the peach fuzz too. So let's do that. We're going to do a multiplier. So I can preview that. Okay, let's get into density. Let's break up that edge a little bit. Okay, pick that color there. Okay, let's get that exported too. So we need peach fuzz density. Export contrast flattened. Just trying to think. Let's save ourselves a bit of memory actually, and paint black back here. There we go. That'll save us a little bit of memory. Okay. Export, current channel flattened, peach fuzz density. Okay. Save that. Kill this. Archive it. Projects, person projects, John Singer Sargent, texturing, Mari, body, archive. Just overwrite the latest one because it's two very small changes. Leave that going in the background. There you go, that's a bit nicer. Yeah, it's working for me. Not sure why this is getting lighter. Is it an albedo? Yeah, I think it's slightly darker. I wonder if it's to do with the camera effects. Either way, I think that'll be it for today's stream. Because the next thing we have to do is sculpt the iris, but there's no point doing that now because it's going to take me at least 2 hours. And then we need to start getting the clothing in place, just as a block out. We'll continue to work on the face. We need to do quite a lot of texturing work on the skin. Things like, you know, add skin imperfections, because the color map itself is way too basic right now. But yeah, so let's get that saved. Gonna alt save this scene. Leave that to keep doing its thing for a moment. Is that done? That's done. That looks like it's producing quite a large file. But yeah, cool. So I'm gonna start this render here, because that's the one. Although I don't like the way this render currently looks, as in the one that I'm about to start, it is important to do, just because it is the final presentation, and in terms of like progression, it's good to show things in that final camera angle. I will be doing another pass on the lighting of this kind of actual shot, just because it's feeling very yellow. But that can wait until later. For now, let's... So there's something quite pleasant about this. But yeah, we'll let that do its thing. Obviously all the hair and stuff has moved just because anytime you do a model change, the entire groom gets reseeded. Like even the mildest model change, like moving a vertex down here, will change the seed for the stuff up here. Which I'm not sure how that works. Like, why does the entire thing get reseeded? I'd need to learn a lot more about producing, like, yeah, my own... what's the word I'm looking for? I'd have to learn more about like producing my own software to understand that, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's pulling back a bit much maybe, but we'll see how all this looks. And then yeah, we might have to do another pass at all this stuff. I quite like this, and we don't have it anymore. This kind of gives like a stray brushstroke appearance. This doesn't. But then this groom is much more pleasing than that one. From this angle anyway. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to end the stream there. Oh, I've realised what's causing that problem now. I haven't enabled this guy, which just changes the subsurface sets and the amount of displacement, or the amount of subdivisions. So I'll start that render again. But yeah, anyway, that'll be it for today's stream. I should be streaming tomorrow, in which I'll do the iris sculpt. So we'll just sculpt a new stroma. Should be quite a lot of fun. The fun thing about sculpting the stroma for this eye setup is I don't need to worry about UVs or topo, just because it's being rendered as a volume. Obviously I want to optimize it somewhat, but you know, we don't need to go through a full pipeline. I can just decimate something for placeholders, and we can get very quick feedback as to how it looks. But yeah, anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye guys.